Coming up on this week's FAS TV, we're at Coul Estate near Laggan in the beautiful Scottish Highlands. Coul is a traditional Highland estate which was bought by Kevin and Sonya Fletcher in 2017. Working closely with their farm manager, Allan MacDiarmid, they plan to improve the estate, introduce a new farm shop to benefit the local rural economy, and produce top quality bluegrass cattle.
Bluegrass system for us is a low maintenance system. We're looking at a highland cow who is pretty self-sufficient, but taking a more extreme continental breed and crossing her back and hopefully producing a store calf that's got a higher value, and then ultimately females that can go on and do a breeding job elsewhere on other farms. We're just slightly under 10,000 acres, predominantly hill. There's 120 acres of in-by silage ground. At the moment the system we're running is a herd of commercial highland cattle, 40 in the herd. They're crossed back to British Blue Bull. We also run a Pedigree herd of 8 cattle and 15 recips, and we've got 400 North Country Cheviot cows. Thinking about it was to increase the value of the calves, produce a female which could go on as a breeding cow. Past experience, pure Highland on a commercial basis don't sell very well. They average maybe £1.50 a kilo, whereas we're managing to achieve over £3 a kilo for our stock calves going away store in the back end of the year. It's as low maintenance as we can make it. They're on a silage and draft feed through the winter. They get some hard feed in the run-up to calving, and then by June we're looking to have them back out on the open hill where they get looked at maybe twice a week to make sure that they're all fit and healthy, but there are no feed or medication out here until the end of October. The bluegrass started in '98 with my father. He actually got a letter from America from somebody with the same surname who was running the system out there and thought he might be interested in it. And he took the punt, bought the bull, and we started it at home on the west coast. But unfortunately he passed away before we could see it through. So when Kevin bought Coul 5 years ago, we were looking for a system that would suit. We're obviously a sporting estate, so there's other enterprises on the place, so we're looking for a low maintenance but with a decent return, and I thought the bluegrass would fit that bill. So we've tried it again, and so far it's been very successful. It raises a lot of eyebrows. Blue bulls in general have maybe a bad reputation. They've got a history of bad calving and not great walkers, but it's all about the breeding. I think the breed society as a whole have been working hard to improve on these issues, and as long as you're looking to buy the right type, I'm looking for a bull that's good in his legs, you know, a bit of length and not overly big, and it seems to work away fine. As you can see, he's on the hill with the cows doing the job. So. We're achieving an 80 to 85% calving percentage, so I don't think we'd get any better by running a Highland bull over them. He gets 3 turns and then they're taken out. One issue with the blues is they will come into heat very young, so you have to be precautious because of the calves to have the bull out early. So we're aiming at the back end sales, so we're selling them in calf at the November sales in Dingwall. So they're bulled at 2-year-old, and then we scan them so that they'll be 24 to 26 months old when we're bulling them. We're trying to breed a cow that can go on to be a hardy hill cow, pretty self-reliant, but you've put a bit of shape back into it, a bit of muscle depth, and with the blue over it. We're putting them back in calf to a blue because we've got the pedigree side of it. We've got blue bulls spare, so that's why we're using a blue. But speaking to the people that are buying them, they're quite happy with that. That's the way they want to stay. We're sitting on a high health status. It's probably one of the most challenging things to keep, especially with the pedigree side of things, because we take in recips. So we actually take our recips in from abroad because it's easier to buy high health cattle out with the country for recipients. The Highlanders, they're pretty closed, so there's no real issues in that. It's a grey area, the high health. I've had people not buy our cattle because they're high health and don't think they'll have no immunity to disease. So it works both ways, but for the pedigree side of things, we have to be high health, and I think it's just good management. I think that what you could learn from our system is a Highland cow as a female is a very underrated animal. She's got a bigger pelvis than any other breed. She'll calve to virtually any bull you put to her. They're good mothers, they're good milkers. You know, I think they've got their place, and by putting a cross over them, you're actually bringing value back in. You know, your pure calves are selling at £300–400, whereas we're averaging 900 for stores. So it makes a big difference to the books at the end of the year. They're not getting treated any differently. As you can see, there's pure calves down here that are bred for replacements, and they're all treated the same. What we have here is bull and heifers. They've been retained, hopefully to be sold on as for female breeding. As you can see at the moment, they're running with the bull. They'll be sold in Dingwall beginning of November in calf. This is a fairly typical example of what you'll get. Obviously, this is the cream of the crop as they've been kept and retained for breeding females. The colour variation is very dependent on the bull. They were bred off a black bull, and they're very black cattle. Previously we had a white bull who threw more of a blue-grey colour. What we're looking for when we're choosing our breeding cattle is a bit of length, a bit of conformation about her, and obviously good in her feet. It's an animal that's designed to go and live hopefully on the hills somewhere else, so if they can't walk, they can't forage. This group of heifers will all be sold in November, first week in November in Dingwall. We sold there last year successfully. They averaged 2,150 for a group of 10 and topped out at 2,500. So yeah, we'll be continuing to use Dingwall going forward. Pedigree Hard was established from Sonya. After we bought the first bull, she fell in love with the breed and decided that she would like to see a few more females. So we went down to Carlisle and went about purchasing some of these ladies, and we're now at 8 pure cows. We also run another 15 recips. When we started out, I was obviously new to the breed, but I went down looking for a female that looks like a female. It's a feminine cow, but had to be good in their legs. They're coming to the north of Scotland, and quiet animals that are easy handled. Our plan is to grow our herd up to 20 breeding cows, and then hopefully start producing some bulls and surplus females for sale. We also bought these cows with the view of showing them. We've done a few local shows last year. We've done 2 big shows this year in the Highland and the Yorkshire. It doesn't only promote the blue cattle, but it also helps to promote the Bluegrass Cattle and tell people about the system we're running up here in Scotland.
Kevin and Sonya have a clear vision for Coul Estate, with values rooted in supporting local people in their rural community. Sonya is particularly passionate about her British Blue Pedigree cattle and looks forward to growing the herd with Kevin and Allan in future.
I just fell in love with them a while ago and kind of twisted Kevin's arm up his back to get a few, and we're just kind of progressively going from there. They're beautiful animals and they've got a lovely temperament, and yeah, there's just something special about them.
We're trying to achieve a really good commercial herd of cattle, and also as good a pedigree herd of cattle as we can get to. Short term, we just keep plodding on short term. Medium term, we're looking to improve the market, our route to market with our own beef. We're going to produce a good product, and we want it to be local and allow people to buy it locally as well. So we're in the process of planning to do a new farm shop, which is next to our cafe, and we're hoping that will go through. It's been quite positive so far from the council, so hopefully we can do that and reduce our kind of mileage from field to fork. Our intention with it is to make it as rural looking as possible. So it'll be a traditional farm shop. It won't be all bells and whistles. It'll be more kind of village orientated than anything else. We do live in a small community here, and if somebody runs out of milk or cheese or whatever, then it's a 15-16 mile round trip to Newton Moor. So we're just hoping that it's going to be a little bit of a hub, as has the cafe been here, that'll encourage people to come and support us. We bought the cafe here in January this year and revamped it, and then started to look for employees, and it was pretty difficult to find employees in the local area. So we decided that what we would do is salary our staff and stay open all winter as well, rather than working hourly, because if we worked hourly we would have to reduce their hours in the winter time. They would probably go and find other jobs, and then you've got to go and try and re-employ them in the springtime. Yeah. So it just didn't make sense for us to do that. So we've got a really good team of people around about us in the cafe, and we have a really good team of people on the farm as well.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Stevenson, bringing you this week's Rural Roundup. Harvest is well underway, although farmers are having to dodge patchy showers. Hay and silage have been made, and livestock farmers are currently busy weaning lambs. When weaning lambs, it's a great opportunity to think about your wormers and also to think about anthelmintic resistance. It is a good idea to check the efficacy of the wormers and check they're working as they should be. As you'll know, there's a period where you can't trim hedges or lop branches off trees due to the bird nesting period. This runs through until the 31st of August. There are some exemptions for doing this, and in these cases you'll be able to do your trimming from the 1st of August. And this is only when a specific crop is going into the ground during August. So this is if oilseed rape is being planted, if temporary grass is being planted, or if another specific crop is being planted which has a prior written consent from the Scottish Government. Thinking about temporary grass, have you thought about what species and varieties you're putting into the ground this year? So different species have different uses. Some are more suited for livestock grazing, whilst others are excellent for biodiversity, and others make great silage or hay. So perennial ryegrass is one most of you will have heard about, and this is a high productivity grass used in livestock production. Italian ryegrass is even more productive than perennial ryegrass. However, it doesn't last as long. It usually only lasts around 2 years. So if you're only putting your field into grass for a very short period of time, this could be the grass for you. Hybrid ryegrass has the best of both the perennial and the Italian ryegrass. So it has the high early season productivity of the Italian ryegrass, but has much better longevity, more like the perennial ryegrass. As well as using ryegrasses, it's a great idea to hedge your bets and use some less productive species as well. So Timothy is great for wet soil conditions, and Cocksfoot is great for dry soil conditions. These are particularly important now with the variable weather conditions which we're having. Meadow fescue, crested dog's tail, red fescue, common bent, and smooth-stalked meadow grass are less productive grasses, but are used in multi-species swards as they allow for the broadleaf species to grow up through. Don't forget to add in your white clover as well. Use a small leaf variety if it's used for livestock grazing, or a larger leaf if it's just for silage or haymaking. Don't forget to have a look at the Scottish recommended list. This is a great way to have a look at the varieties which are available and ensure the varieties that you're looking at are approved for use in Scotland, as these have all been trialled in Scottish conditions. There was an extension on the June census, and the deadline is the 27th of August. So if you've not already completed this, now is the time to get it done. They are encouraging everybody to do this online this year through the Rural Payments and Services website. So make sure you get this completed by the 27th of August. So the funding seeks to extend or improve the nesting and the feeding habitats for waders, increase protection from predation, as well as increasing farmer awareness of the best management practices for waders. Have a look at this grant scheme. It's only a small grant available, but it's a great way to be able to do some of these small things which can make a big difference to the weeders on your farm. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.